Airports can feel like a labyrinth of stress from the moment you step inside to when you're buckling up in your seat, thousands of feet in the air. But what if I told you there's a hidden world of airport secrets, travel hacks, and airline loopholes that can make the entire experience smoother and maybe even a little bit enjoyable? These are the lesser-known tricks of the trade, the kind you rarely hear about. So, let's dive into these mysteries and uncover how you can navigate airports and fly like an insider. The TSA security loophole: skip the line without paying extra. I know you have probably heard of TSA PreCheck by now, right? But did you know there's a way to get access to the faster lanes without paying the hefty fees? Here is a secret. Many airlines offer TSA PreCheck to their most frequent flyers or to those who book their flights using premium credit cards. But what if you don't have these perks like the business class passenger does in most cases? Some airports, especially smaller or mid-sized ones, may randomly assign TSA PreCheck status to passengers who book their flights early, or as a way to manage lines during peak hours. Therefore, you should keep an eye on your boarding pass, and if you see TSA PreCheck printed on it by surprise, you just won the lottery. I meant it would seem as if you had won the lottery. At least you would get to go ahead of everyone else. But let's say you're stuck in the regular line. There's another trick to slip through security faster. Look for families or travelers with children. The family lanes are often quieter and less congested since agents tend to fast-track them through to avoid disruptions. Asking politely to join the family line can sometimes work, but don't be pushy. Secret airline perks: the unadvertised upgrades. Most travelers think that scoring an upgrade is about racking up miles or paying extra for a bump to business class. But airlines often don't advertise that elite status passengers have perks that can benefit you as well. Here's the twist, though. If you're flying with someone who holds elite status, even if you don't, you might be able to enjoy their perks by being linked to the same reservation. That means free seat upgrades, complimentary checked bags, and even access to first-class lounges, without you having elite status yourself. Here is another tip. When flights are overbooked, airlines sometimes bump economy passengers to first class to make room. Dress well, be polite, and arrive at the gate early, and you might find yourself bumped up without even asking. Gate agents often take note of respectful travelers when they need to make last-minute adjustments. Aircraft secrets: the hidden comfort zones. There's a lot more happening on an aircraft than you might think, and the layout of the plane itself holds secrets to a more comfortable journey. One insider hack is to choose the quietest place on the plane. It is near the wing. Why? The engines are located there, which helps neutralize the vibrations and noise that are most noticeable at the front or back. So if you're prone to noise sensitivity or motion sickness, booking a seat over the wings could make for a smoother flight. Another airplane hack is to choose a seat near the lavatory on overnight flights. This might seem counterintuitive because who wants to deal with a line of passengers? But on long-haul flights, especially red-eye flights, cabin crew often block off one lavatory exclusively for their use. If you're sitting nearby and ask politely, you might get permission to use it, meaning less waiting around when you really need it. Baggage magic: how to never lose your bag again. If you've ever had your luggage delayed or lost, you know the pain. But here's a little-known secret: airline baggage handlers prioritize bags with specific markers. You know those bright, fragile stickers? Even if your bag isn't fragile, placing one of those stickers on your luggage makes it more likely to be placed on top of the pile, which means it'll be among the first to hit the conveyor belt at your destination. Another tip involves the weight of your bag. Bags that are excessively heavy may get tagged for special handling, which can lead to delays. Aim to keep your suitcase just under 50 pounds, as this is often the weight limit for checked baggage. Airlines regularly weigh bags, and if your bag tips over the scale, it could end up in a different sorting section, meaning it could miss your flight or arrive late. Lastly, always take a photo of your bag before checking it in. Should your luggage go missing, having a picture on hand helps the airline locate it faster, since descriptions can sometimes be subjective. The airport lounge hack: free access for the clever traveler. You don't need to fly first class to access luxurious airport lounges. Yes, airline-branded credit cards and elite statuses get you in, but there's another hack. Day passes to lounges can be cheaper than you think, and here's where it gets interesting. Some lounges offer day passes that can be reimbursed if you use specific travel credit cards, but they don't advertise this perk. If you happen to have a travel credit card, ask the lounge if they offer any partnerships with your card issuer for discounted or free access. There's also a little-known website called loungebuddy.com that offers day passes for lounges at a fraction of the price, and it works in several international airports. Once inside, you can indulge in free Wi-Fi, food, and even showers, all for less than you'd pay for an airport meal. Here is a pro tip. Some lounges will allow entry for families even if only one member has access, so always ask. How to fly for free? Well, almost. Now here's the kicker. The ultimate travel hack that most passengers will never hear about. Did you know that airlines are required to compensate you if you're bumped off a flight due to overbooking? This compensation can sometimes include a free round-trip ticket, cash, or vouchers for future travel. But here's where it gets exciting. You can volunteer to be bumped. If your travel schedule is flexible, check in early and head to the gate as soon as you arrive at the airport. Let the gate agent know you're willing to be bumped if the flight is overbooked. Not only can this result in generous compensation, but airlines often place you on the very next flight in a premium seat. It's a double win, free travel and an upgrade. The forgotten gate trick, where flights are never delayed. Have you ever noticed certain gates are always quieter, and flights departing from them seem to board on time, no matter how chaotic the airport is? There's a reason for that. In many airports, gates at the farthest ends of terminals, often referred to as forgotten gates, are used for overflow or low-traffic flights. Airlines schedule less frequent flights from these gates, meaning there's less chance of delay caused by congestion. If you want to avoid the stress of last-minute gate changes and delays, look for flights leaving from these out-of-the-way locations. Bonus, they tend to be much quieter, so it's the perfect place to escape the airport hustle before boarding. The hidden power outlet trick: charge your devices faster. Here's a pro tip that'll keep your devices juiced up. Many travelers fight for the limited charging stations in airports, but here's what they don't know. Every gate has hidden power outlets, often concealed behind seats or tucked away under counters near the gate agent's desk. Bring a small travel power strip or outlet splitter with you, and you can turn one outlet into many. Plus, some airports hide outlets in less obvious places like information kiosks or near cleaning closets. This way, you won't be stuck waiting for someone to unplug their phone at a crowded charging station. Another perk? USB charging ports on most aircraft provide slower charging. Instead, use the standard 110-volt outlets, usually found under or between seats in economy, especially on newer aircraft, to get a faster charge for your laptop or phone. The secret menu at airport lounges. Order what's not on display. Even if you get access to a lounge, you might think the options on display are all you get. But here's the insider scoop. Many airport lounges have secret menu items that aren't placed out but can be requested if you know what to ask for. Whether it's premium coffee, off-menu snacks, or freshly made sandwiches, the offerings go beyond what's laid out for everyone. Simply ask the staff if there's anything else available or what special treats they might have that day. In some lounges, they even have special order dishes for frequent visitors that regular passengers never know about. The baggage first trick: tagging your bag as late check. Want your bag to be the first off the conveyor belt? Here's a hidden gem. Check your bag late, but not too late. When you check in later than most passengers, your bag is among the last to be loaded, which often means it's the first to be unloaded upon arrival. But you have to time this just right. Check in at the airport an hour before boarding closes to avoid your bag missing the flight altogether. When done correctly, it significantly cuts down your wait time at the baggage claim carousel. Airport sleeping pods, nap for free or cheap. If you have a long layover, you might find yourself dozing off in an uncomfortable chair. But many airports now feature sleeping pods or quiet rooms, and here's where the hack comes in. These pods are often free during the day for short periods or can be booked for a few hours at a time for a small fee. In some airports, you can even find free reclining seats in remote terminal sections, designed for travelers needing rest. You'd be surprised how often these are overlooked by the masses, especially in international hubs like Dubai, Singapore, and Helsinki. If your airport doesn't offer such amenities, look for unused gates or even prayer rooms, which are often quiet and sparsely populated, making them great spots to catch a quick nap. Avoid the crowds. Book odd-hour flights. Here's one more trick that frequent flyers swear by but few talk about. Flights during off-peak hours, early morning or late at night, often come with fewer passengers, shorter lines at security, and even friendlier, less stressed airport staff. Flights scheduled between 5 a.m. and 7 a.m. or after 10 p.m. typically have fewer delays, meaning less waiting around for passengers. If you hate long security lines and overcrowded terminals, booking at these odd hours can make a world of difference. Gate changes can catch travelers off guard, causing mad dashes across terminals and missed flights. But here's the secret. Download your airline's app and turn on push notifications. Airlines often update their apps before the gate screens or PA announcements are made in the terminal. This gives you a precious head start when a gate change happens. If you're ahead of the crowd, you'll also have first dibs on any available rebooking options or help from gate agents if things go south. Bonus tip. If you suspect a flight delay, approach the gate agent discreetly and ask about potential rebooking options before the rest of the passengers catch wind. This can get you on another flight faster or offer more choices before others start lining up. Here's something few travelers know. Unclaimed baggage is auctioned off by airlines after a set period of time. There are actual stores, such as the Unclaimed Baggage Center in Alabama, where you can buy these items at discounted prices. If you're a frequent traveler and need gear like luggage, electronics, or clothing, it's worth checking out these centers online or in person. You might end up with high-quality items that were left behind, often for a fraction of the original cost. While this isn't a hack to use during your travels, it's a great way to score travel necessities, especially if you love good deals. The premium economy. Hail Mary, scoring better seats for free. We've all heard of last-minute upgrades, but did you know that there's a sweet spot between economy and business class that's often overlooked? Premium economy usually offers larger seats, more legroom, and better amenities. Here's the hack. If your flight is fully booked, airlines often need to reshuffle passengers in the economy section to accommodate families or last-minute bookings. This means economy passengers may get bumped to premium economy, but only if you're among the first to check in or politely ask about any available upgrades at the gate. Make sure to be friendly and courteous when speaking to the gate agents. If they need to move passengers around, you're much more likely to be selected if you've made a good impression. Bring your own snacks, but here's the catch. Airport food can be overpriced, and airplane snacks leave much to be desired. While you probably know you can bring your own food through security, here's the lesser-known part. Flight attendants often have better snacks available upon request, especially on long-haul or international flights. If you bring your own snacks, like a favorite candy bar or healthy snack, you can also trade with a flight attendant for something better. Many airlines stock a small stash of extra snacks that aren't distributed to the entire cabin. A polite request for something extra paired with a smile can go a long way. The hidden world of airports unveiled. Airports and airlines are full of hidden systems, tricks, and perks to uncover that most passengers never notice. From skipping TSA lines to getting bumped into first class, and even enjoying a quiet, comfortable flight, these lesser-known hacks can transform your entire experience. As you navigate your next journey, keep these secrets close, and you'll feel like you've unlocked a hidden travel club that only the insiders know about. By adding these unique tips, you're now equipped with even more tools to master airport navigation and make flying an enjoyable experience. As with all good travel hacks, a little foresight and cleverness go a long way. Let me know if you have anything to add that others could benefit from. Leave it in the comments section. And I hope you got some value from this video. Make sure you're subscribed and have your notifications turned on so you don't miss out on future videos. And if you love this video, please show some love by checking out the links in the description and sending those super thanks and super chats to support the channel. Grab my personally written ebook titled How to Avoid Getting Flagged by TSA. The link is in the description and it is only $10 with some great tips, hacks, and tricks you can incorporate with what you have learned in this video. Now go ahead and try one of these hacks on your next trip and see how many doors it opens. Safe travel. Today, we are going straight into the topic of airplane seats, and a few facts that you probably didn't know and should know if you are going to fly on an airplane. These facts include the reason why there are cameras and microphones in the seats, why most airplane seats are blue, why there is a cloth over the back of the seat, and why most planes don't have leather seats, and so much more. We are going to let you in on the secrets you have been missing out on while you are seated on an airplane. You will never fly again without knowing these bombshell truths. These are things every passenger should know, and now you are about to find out. So sit tight and listen up. Please stay until the end, because the entire video is packed with a lot of juicy secrets that you are about to discover. Let's get started. Back in the heyday of airplane travel, it was all about the flying experience, sublime service, stylish outfits, and enough room for passengers to cartwheel around if they felt so inspired. These days, it's all about cramming as many people into as many seats as possible, making sure the airline's accounting books stay in the black and not in the red. Most of us always complain about airplane food and argue about the window or the aisle. The latter reigns supreme on long-haul flights, though rarely do we take much notice of the actual seats themselves. Do you remember what color your last airplane seat was the last time you flew? Or did you realize that they have hidden cameras watching your every move? When you're flying high at 37,000 feet, a seat is much more than just a seat, and that's not always a good thing now. Is it? If you haven't noticed, the seats are always blue. Next time you step onto a plane, whether you're heading to Chile or Chattanooga, take a moment to notice the color of the seats. 9 times out of 10, each and every one of them will be some sort of shade of blue. There's a couple of reasons, and one is that blue has a calming, relaxing hue. Aside from the blue seats' positive effects on the brain, they also do a stellar job of masking and concealing all the grime, dirt, germs, and stains. Ever noticed how bus seats are predominantly blue with wild patterns? It's the same deal. Compared to a bright yellow, for example, a dark shade helps to make the seats appear cleaner and, therefore, offers longevity. Seats over the wings experience less turbulence. It doesn't matter if you're a seasoned flyer gallivanting around the world on your frequent flyer miles, or a first-timer itching to see a new place. Turbulence is never fun. Unfortunately, we can't always avoid it, but what we can do is minimize it. Studies have shown that if toward the middle of the plane, right over the wing, is where the journey will be the least bumpy. The layout of an airplane's seats will determine whether it's a narrow-body or wide-body airplane. Narrow-body airplanes have a single aisle. Passengers as well as crew members can walk down this aisle. Wide-body airplanes, on the other hand, have 2 aisles. Wide-body airplanes live up to their namesake by featuring a wider fuselage than their narrow-body counterparts, which allows them to accommodate more seats and passengers. For those who would do anything to be next to the window, it can be wildly disappointing when you're not actually next to a window, instead needing to crank your neck forward or back to get a glimpse of the clouds. Ever wondered why that's the case? Money, that's why. Cash-hungry airlines try to squeeze in the maximum number of seats. Adding windows, on the other hand, is a little more difficult. Let's talk about the emergency exit seats now. A shout out to all the lanky-legged people out there. There's nothing worse than being squeezed like a sardine in what feels like a millimeter of leg room. Thankfully, the exit row seats are here to save the day. In an accident, large numbers of people need to vacate the plane as quickly as possible, so for the sake of safety, there needs to be some extra room. But those emergency exit seats don't usually recline. Don't get too excited just yet. It's not all glitz and glamour in the exit rows. Aside from the often annoying reality that you're provided with a flimsy TV screen hidden in the armrest, as opposed to a seat-back entertainment system, the seats don't always recline. So before you move heaven and earth to sit near an exit, think about what matters most. Why don't some airline seats recline either? Airlines are always looking for ways to keep the weight of a plane down to keep fuel costs at a minimum, often at the expense of the comfort of the passengers. Seats which lack a foam covering are designed instead to be thin, light, and made to optimize and improve the living, or you could say seating space for passengers. Seats on many low-cost carriers like Ryanair don't have a recline mechanism, which also adds to the weight, and others go as far as removing the seatback net for magazines to help reduce weight. In terms of flooring, there isn't much variety in the carpets, and most airlines go with either nylon or woolen carpets, which are the most lightweight for cabin use. First-class seats are 70% more than those in economy. For most of us, the thought of sailing through the skies with incredible first-class amenities like a glass of champagne in one hand and a freshly baked cookie in the other is but a far-off dream. For those with pockets deep enough to afford a first-class ticket, it's a reality. Is the 70% hike in cost really worth it, though, for just a few hours of luxury? Can airplane seat cameras really spy on passengers? Singapore Airlines might have come out and stated that these cameras are permanently disabled on their aircraft and cannot be activated on board, but that doesn't mean that we necessarily believe them. That's right, Panasonic Avionics, the company that builds most of the seatback entertainment systems, do really install cameras and biometrics equipment. It's not just cameras, they're adding microphones too. Aside from the existence of hidden cameras that people are quickly realizing, in sheer panic most of the time, the seats have microphones too. Back in 2017, Panasonic Avionics announced that its systems on Emirates first class and economy seats featured a camera, plus a microphone and a speaker. Isn't that just a little creepy? Sometimes there are infrared sensors as well. Cameras, microphones, speakers. It doesn't stop there. British Airways, as well as the award-winning Air New Zealand, have come out and admitted that their seatback screens are fitted with infrared sensors. The idea of anything being hidden in plane seats, let alone biometric scanners, has raised a heck of a lot of questions. Are you getting value from this video so far? We hope so. Please hit the subscribe button and notification bell so you don't miss out on future videos. And don't forget to like the video. Now let's continue. Sometimes airlines remove row 13 of seats. When you're taking note of the color of the seats next time you board, be sure to count the row numbers as well. Depending on which airline you're flying with, Lufthansa is a perfect example, they may have omitted row number 13. Yes, it's exactly what you're thinking. The result of the widespread superstition that 13 is wickedly unlucky. Seats at the back are safest. If you want luxury, sit at the front and pay up. If you want the smoothest ride, then sit over the wings in the middle of the plane. But if you want the highest chance of survival when everything hits the fan, then plonk yourself down at the back of the plane. According to Business Insider, data from past crashes and crash tests shows that the back of the plane is probably safest. Some flight attendants sit backwards, or you could say they are seated facing the passengers, but they're back to the pilot door. I am sure you have seen that. The image of a flight attendant sitting backward seems a little weird, doesn't it? As a regular flyer, wouldn't you expect them to be facing forward like the rest of us? It comes down to space. Since the cabin crew is usually on their feet, the retractable, back-facing jump seats can be stowed when not in use, allowing more room for passengers to stretch their legs. What's with the cloth on top of the seat? Next up on things you never noticed on planes but won't be able to avoid seeing next time you fly to Disneyland, the humble seat cloth. These thin pieces of fabric act as a barrier between the passengers' heads and the seat itself, and with correct cleaning, reduce the chances of transmitting any germs, because you can't just put an entire seat through the washing machine, can you? Let's talk more about the seating fabric and its importance. The material is almost always fabric. If you're just sporting a tiny carry-on bag on an even tinier plane for a short-distance flight, It's certainly possible that you'll find yourself sticking to a leather seat. On most long-distance routes, however, the seat material is almost always a cloth-like fabric. Why? Simply to allow the passenger's skin to breathe and avoid excessive sweating. Yes, as a general rule, most long-haul carriers won't install leather seating because they can get unpleasantly sweaty for passengers. Synthetic fabrics breathe, which makes for a more comfortable experience. Fabrics are chosen for their hard-wearing qualities, and airlines tend to go with darker fabrics for maintenance reasons. It's much more of a bother to clear up a red wine spill on white fabric than on black, as most of us have discovered the hard way. Ergo, dark-colored seats mask dirt and therefore appear to be cleaner and longer-lasting than pale hues. For the same reasons, patterned fabrics are favored over plain ones for seat covers to mask wear and tear over the years. Space is measured in pitch. The space provided by airplane seats is typically measured in pitch. Pitch is the distance between the same point on two consecutive airplane seats. It's typically measured from the back of one seat to the back of the seat in front of it. Seat pitch can vary significantly depending on the airline and aircraft type. With that said, higher class seats, business class or first class, generally have a higher seat pitch than lower class seats. A high pitch means that passengers will have more space. Now let's talk about seats near a window and what is required. Regulations may require window shades to be open. If you have a seat near a window, you may be required to open the window shades when the airplane is taking off and landing. Window shades are visors that cover the window. You can open them to allow sunlight to beam into the airplane, or you can close them to achieve a darker environment. During takeoffs and landings, however, regulations often require window shades to be open. With the window shades open, visibility will increase, which can enhance safety. Seat comfort. Perhaps the one area we're all interested in when we get on an airplane is the type and size of the seat we'll be sitting on. Because let's face it, there are all types of plane seats available, but not all of them are the same. Each airplane has its own type of seats, and knowing which airline offers which type of seat can make your next flight a lot more pleasant. Even though all seats are made for comfort, it is still good to know the difference between the seat types so that you can specifically request the kind you want. Seats on airplanes usually correspond to the price of the ticket and the type of passenger they are meant to accommodate. First-class plane seats are naturally going to be bigger and wider than standard seats because people are paying more for the service. Therefore, the seats themselves are not as important as the class of service you choose, even though the two always go together. Seat combinations. While many airlines have two-seat combinations, others have three-seat combinations, while still others have two seats on one side of the aisle and three seats on the other side. The higher the class of seating, the larger and more comfortable the seat usually is, which is always something to keep in mind when you're reserving seats for your next flight. And that's it for now, folks. Thanks for staying until the end. Hope you learned something new. If you have anything to add, please do so in the comments section. We welcome your comments. Please visit the links in the description. Anything you purchase will support the channel. Also, don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell so you don't miss the next videos coming up. And please be safe until next time.
Welcome to our guide on what not to wear to the airport. Today, we'll be sharing some crucial tips to help you breeze through security with ease. So let's dive right in. Hearing from a former TSA agent who spent more than 5 years working as a security officer at Los Angeles International Airport, you can understand why this information is quite valuable. We sat down with a TSA agent to learn the surprising items that always seem to cause an issue when going through security. After you listen to these tips, we guarantee you'll rethink your next airport look. After all, no one wants to be the one holding up the security line, right? Believe it or not, too many bobby pins will set off the metal detector. If you're looking to maintain your hair and skip the pat-down, I would suggest getting dolled up after screening. Those wearing a braided updo, beware. If your braided updo has lots of bobby pins, it will set off the detector. Let your braids fly when you fly. Also, leave the metal combs and other adornments behind or in your bag. The situation is that some machines are set higher than others, so you never know what level of metal will set it off. Instead, wear simple hair ties or a soft headband. Cargo pants and shorts are one of the most difficult items of clothing at the airport, Pruitt advises. All the different pockets become a major hassle because they almost always set off the alarm. When being told by an officer to remove everything from your pockets, there is always a lighter or set of keys that you've forgotten in a hidden pocket. Instead, wear pants with minimal pockets. Don't wear metal bracelets and necklaces. Large metal bracelets and necklaces will set off the metal detector. The biggest problem item is the Cartier Love bracelet. These bracelets can only be removed with a screwdriver, so they become an issue when going through security. It might be wise to put your jewellery on after screening to avoid a pat-down. Chunky watches or costume jewellery should be avoided. Instead, wear simple gold or silver jewellery, but pack them away and put it on after you go through security. It's important to know that airport security scanners won't go off if you're wearing good quality gold or silver jewellery, so there's no need to remove wedding rings, etc. The scanner is looking to detect magnetic metals, often used in costume jewellery or chunky watches. To get through security quickly, keep jewellery to a minimum and pop any jewellery or watches that are likely to be made from magnetic metal in a zip-up compartment in your hand luggage. Don't wear shoes with laces, buckles or high tops. Even though they're perfect shoes to wear on holidays, trainers, boots and Birkenstocks will only slow you down at the airport when you are inevitably asked to remove them to go through airport security. Trainers mean pausing to have to tie up laces, while Birkenstock wearers are forced to do the awkward tippy-toe walk to try, and fail, to avoid getting dirty feet. Trainers are also redundant on long-haul flights when feet are prone to swelling, and you'll want to remove your shoes anyway. Instead, pack your trainers or Birkenstocks in your carry-on luggage, store them in a packing cube with rolled-up socks, and opt for a sturdy pair of flat slip-on shoes like ballet flats, mules or loafers. Opt for slip-on shoes for your trip. Carry the right personal item. The personal item you carry can also play a significant role in how smoothly you navigate airport security. Ideally, your personal item should be a bag that's not just stylish, but one that's designed with travel and convenience in mind. It should be easy to open and close, providing you quick access to your essentials, and compact enough to fit snugly under the seat in front of you on the airplane. Speaking of such a bag, have you considered the Nomad Lane bento bag? With its easy access compartments and thoughtful design, it effortlessly marries style and practicality. Designed specifically for the modern traveller, it takes into account the nuances of navigating airport security, making it an ideal personal item for your journey. This bag is created with travel-size packing in mind, abiding by the TSA's 311 rule for liquids. Its distinct sections mean your toiletries are always within reach, saving you time during security checks. And if you're bringing snacks, the Nomad Lane bento bag's smart compartments make sure they're easy to take out and put back in, ensuring a smooth transition through security. As you pack for your next trip, keep the Nomad Lane bento bag in mind. Not only is it a fashionable accessory, but its design could also make your airport experience significantly more relaxed and hassle-free. Remember, A well-chosen personal item can elevate your travel experience from stressful to seamless. Don't wear maxi dress or skirt for travel. If you are opposed to getting patted down at the airport, then wearing a maxi skirt or dress isn't your best bet, because the officer will have to check that you are not hiding anything under your skirt or dress. If the TSA officer is suspicious, then you may be pulled out of the line for a more private pat-down, which will only cause more delay and frustration. Wear loose-fitting pants or leggings instead. Don't wear an underwire bra. Yes, it's true. My underwire bra has triggered the detector, some more than others. I now have a couple of go-to bras that I wear when I fly and that don't trigger the detector. This is by trial and error. If the one you're wearing sets off the alarm, don't wear it again. I've noticed the ones with more padding are better. Check the links below for good Amazon finds at minimal cost. Don't wear too many pieces of clothing. You may think it is a good idea to wear layers versus a big coat, and that is true for once you get to the destination. But unless you have TSA pre-check, all those topical layers will have to come off. It's like undressing and having to get dressed again. Plus, it's hot. Some say do not wear big coats. However, if it's cold, bring a big coat. Just don't dress in layers underneath. Or you can pack it in your checked luggage or carry-on bag. The best type of coat is one that packs easily or compresses. The perfect balance. As I look around when I travel, I can tell that most people don't consider airport security when they get dressed for the airport. If you don't, smile. You're that person who is holding up the line. To avoid being that person, follow the list of things we just gave you to not wear through airport security. Ultimately, the best airport outfit strikes a balance between comfort, convenience, and style. You want to feel comfortable during your flight, move through security as smoothly as possible, and still look your best. With a little planning and the right outfit, you can achieve all of these goals. Remember, no matter how long your journey is or what challenges you face along the way, the adventure of travel is worth it. So, embrace the journey, be prepared, and make the most of every moment. Please like this video, subscribe to the channel, and hit the notification bell for more videos like this one. Happy travels! Until next time.